Good evening. So in yesterday's session, we have seen some of the yesterday finally we have seen shift operators. So now I'm going to show you some examples on this shift operator, right shift and right shift. Left shift we have completed. Right shift I will show you some more examples. So first I will take the values 10 right shift 2. That means what 2 bits it has to be shifted right. So let us see how the value is 2. Okay. Right. Now see here, what is the value of 10 in binary? So 10 means, 1 minute, 10 means the value is 1010. Let us take in 8 bits, 0000 1010. Okay. Here if you are going to consider right shift 2, that means what 2 bits has to be shifted right. That means what these all bits will be shifted 2 bits forward. These 2 bits will be, let us go send them outside. So 0000. Now here what these 2 bits should be, what is the sign of this 10? Positive. So here we have to place the sign of that particular number, that is 0. 0 means what? Positive. 1 means what? Negative. Okay. So here we are placing what? Zeros. This is what? Sign bits. Now let us consider, so that we got what value as 2. The value, this one is what? 2. So we got the output same here, that is 2. Now I'm going to consider a negative number. For example, 2. That means what? Here I have to shift a negative number 2 bits right side shifting. Okay, that is -3. So let us see how this -3 is given as output. That is for -10. So already in previous session I have discussed about how the negative numbers are going to be stored in our memory. So first, this is a negative. We have to see that whether it is given number is negative or not. So if it is a negative number, directly the value will not be stored in our memory. So first I have to take the positive value of this one. That is nothing but 1010. So I have to make 2's complement for this number. Then we will get what? Negative number of that value. That is, if I make 10's 2's complement, it is nothing but -10. Okay. If I make positive 10's 2's complement, that value will be -10. So let us take first 1's complement. 1's complement means what? Bits are going to be altered. Okay. Right. This is what 1's complement of the 10. Next, if I am going to add +1, it will be 2's complement. So there is 1 plus 1, 1 0, 1 1 0 1 1 1 1. So this is what? 2's complement of positive number. That is nothing but this is the value for -10. Now what I have to do? I have to shift right 2 bits of this number. Okay, that means this number I have to shift. So 2 values will be shifted out, and finally the value will be what? Here 0 1 1 1 1 1. So here what is the values we have to include? Sign, that is what? Negative. So here this is the value that is generated. But you may think that, sir, is it -3? How we can see it as a -3? So remember one thing, to store the negative number, first what I have taken? Positive number, and I have make it as a 2's complement. Then we are going to get what? -10. And I am going to shift 2 times this value. Now whatever the value that is generated, if you want to understand, that means you want to understand whether it is -3 or not, just I have to make this number as 2's complement once again, and whatever the answer we are going to get, we have to keep minus sign. Let us see. So generally, if you understand about digital electronics, these concepts will be clear. Anyway, no, 0 0 0 1's complement I am going to perform now. Right, this is 1's complement. +1 means what? We are going to get 1 1 0 0 0 0 and so on. That means what? Whatever the value we got here, what is that value? 3. So just we have to place what? Minus. So what is our answer? -3. So in this way, internally that shifts are going to be done. So once again, I will explain by taking one more example. Let us take one more value, that is -7. Shift 2. Okay, I will take -8. Shift 2 times. Not only 2 times, we can take any type, any value, no problem. So we got what? Again minus 2 only. So I'm going to show you about minus 7 or minus 2. Why minus 7 got minus 2 and minus 8 also got minus 2? Let us discuss here. So I got what? Minus 7 output is what? Sorry, if I shift 2 times, right? 2 bits right, I got minus 2. Sorry, 2 times I got minus 2. And if I shift 2 bits right, I got minus 2 here. So let us discuss about these two examples for shifting right of negative numbers. So first what I have to take? 7. So 7 means what? We know that 1, 1, 1. So let us take 8 bits. Okay, these are the 8 bits. So now to make the minus 7, what I have to do? I have to make this positive number to the 2's complement. So this is what 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0 plus 1 means what? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. This is nothing but minus 7. So I have to make what? 2 bits shift right. Okay, these 2 bits will be out and remaining 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, remaining all will be 1. Okay, now let us check. This is the final result we got. Okay, but we cannot understand this one because this is in 2's complement representation. This is in which representation? 2's complement representation. But you cannot understand if you see directly this value. If you want to see this value directly, then again you have to make the 2's complement of this number. Okay, that is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. This is the result we got. Again, if I make 2's complement for this number, then you can understand what is the value that is generated. So this is 1's complement. I have to make plus 1. So what is going to be done? This is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we have to place minus. The value is nothing but what? 2. So answer is minus 2. So this is the answer we got. Okay. Now I want to show you about minus 8 also. Okay. So minus 8 also we got what? Answer is minus 2. Now see. So minus 8 I'm going to consider here. I'm going to shift right with 2 bits. So resulting is what? Answer is minus 2. So 8 means what? So for example 1, 0, 0, 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0 I'm going to consider. So here to make the positive value into negative, just we have to make it as a 2's complement. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1 plus 1 I'm going to add to make it as a 2's complement. So 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, this is the value finally we got. Now this is in what? This is minus 8 in 2's complement. So in this way only the value is going to be stored in our memory in this way. Okay, right. So now I want to do what? 2 bits shift out. Okay, so what will be the answer? So 1, 1, 1, remaining all will be ones. So this is the answer we got. Okay, finally. Now this is what? This is the final result after shifting 2 bits for minus 8. That is what? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Now you cannot understand because it is in 2's complement form. Now if you convert this one into normal number, that means again we have to perform 2's complement on this number. That is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 1's complement. I have to add plus 1 to this one to make 2's complement. That is what? 1 plus 1, 2. 2 is nothing but 1, 0. And so on. 0, 0, 0, 0. So the value is what? 2. We have to keep minus to this one. So answer is what? Minus 2. So in this way, the bits are going to be shifted. Negative numbers are going to be shifting rightwards. Okay, right. So if you are going to perform, okay, anyway, in yesterday's class, I have discussed that point. That is what? If you are going to perform right shift, okay, that is what? Internally, it is going to divide by, if you are going to shift 1 bit, that means what? Division by 2. Okay. If you are going to perform left shift, that is going to act as a what? Multiplication by 2. So I will show you one small example. Okay. Now, if you are going to consider this example, you can understand clearly. So see, here I am going to consider 10, right shift 2. That means what? Okay, first I will shift 1 bit. So 10, if I am going to shift right, what it is going to be happen? Divided by 2. Let us see whether it is going to divide by 2 or not. So what is the answer? 5. If I shift 10 with 2 times, 2 bits. That means what? Divide by 2, divide by 2. That means 2 times it will be divided by 2. So if 1 time 10 is divided by 2, what is the answer? 5. If once again it is divided by 2, what is the answer? 2.5. But here we are going to get what? 2. Because floor it is going to be taken. So it is what? 2. That is what 10 by 2 is what? 5. 5 by 2 is what? 2.5. It is going to consider as 2. Next, if I am going to consider it as a 3 times, for example, 3 bits I am going to shift. Then what happens? Sorry, 3 times I am going, 3 bits I am going to shift. What will be the answer? 3 times it will be divided by 2. Okay, so it is answer is what? 1. Okay, now if I am going to shift 4 times, what happens? 4 bits I am going to shift. What happens? 0. 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5. So 0 will be considered. So right now I am going to consider shift left of 2. It is going to multiply. First I will take 1. So multiply by 2. If I am going to shift 10 with 1 left, is going to give me what? 10 into 2. If I am going to take 2 bits, 2 shifts, then what happens? 10 into 2 into 2. That is what? 10 into 2, 20, 20 into 2, 40. Again, if I take 3 times, 10 into 2, 20, 20 into 2, 40, 40 into 2, 80. Okay. In this way, we can say directly without performing any shift operations. Okay. So this is about shifting operations. So yesterday we have seen this bitwise complement, this bitwise operators. Okay. So now in today's session, we are going to see about assignment operators. Okay. So assigning. Okay. What operators we are going to see? Assignment operators. So in the name it says what? This operator is going, these operators are going to assign something. Okay, so assignment operators are used to assign values to the variables. So for example, I will take one small example, a equal to 5. Here, what is the operation it is going to be performed here? 5 is going to assign to a. Okay, that means here how it is assigned to a? Because of this operator. So here equal to is called as what? Assignment operator. Okay, first operator is what? Equal to. It is not double equal to, it is single equal to. Double equal to is different and single equal to is different. Double equal to we have seen what? For comparison purpose. Okay, so this is what? A single equal to, which is called as what? Assignment operator. So already we have seen many other operators like plus c is there. Already we know plus. If I write plus c equal to, it is also one of the type of assignment. So these are called as compound assignment. I will show you how these works. Minus equal to, next one into equal to, next one divide by equal to, modulo equal to, next this is what? Floor division equal to, exponential operator equal to, and equal to. These are all called as what? Compound assignments. Or equal to, XOR equal to. This is what? Shift right equal to, and finally we can say shift left equal. Don't worry about all these operators. Just remember this one operator. Assignment operator is nothing but what? Equal to. So we can also combine this assignment operator with many other operators like this. So these operators are called as what? Compound. These operators are called as what? Compound assignment operators. Okay, so how these works I will explain now. Okay, so first I will take general assignment, that is what? Equal to. So whenever you are going to write equal to, then what happens here? 5 is going to assign to a. Let us see whether it is assigned or not. So if I press a, what happens? 5 is going to be printed. That means what? A is assigned to 5 is assigned to a. Now I want to show you some compound assignment operators. That is what? First I will take a plus equal to 10. Now here I will explain how it is going to be performed. So a plus equal to 10 I have taken. So listen carefully. This statement, this expression is nothing but a equal to a plus 10. Same, whatever the operation it is going to be performed, in the same way this expression is also going to be performed. So if I want to perform this operation, you can take in this way. So a equal to a plus 10 is nothing but what? A value is what? 10. 10 plus 10. So result will be what? 20. Okay. Now I will show you. So answer is what? Sorry, 1 minute. Oh, sorry. Here I have take one more A value so that I got 15. So first I have to take some A value. So here what I have taken? 5. So here A value is not 10. It is what? 5. So 5 plus 10 is what? 15. So next I will take one more example. X equal to 10. Enter. X equal to, sorry, X plus equal to 20, for example. What here I am going to take? X value as 10. Initially X value as what? 10. Next what I am going to take? X plus equal to 20 I have taken. That means what? It is nothing but X equal to whatever the operation is going to be performed is same as X equal to X plus 20. What is the X value here? 10. So 10 plus 20 is going to be performed. And then what is the answer of X? X will be 30. Okay. So if you see the X here, what is the answer it is going to generate? X as 30. Okay. In the same way, if you perform any of the operations, so I will take one or two more. Remaining all are same case. If you are going to consider any of these, it is going to perform same thing. Right. For example, I am going to consider X equal to 10 and X into equal to 20, for example. It is nothing but what? X equal to X into 20. That will be what? 10 into 20, which is nothing but 200. So these are called as what? Assignment operators. For example, X equal to what? I have taken 10 and X into equal to I have taken 20. So if I print X, what is the answer we are going to get? That is nothing but 200. Okay. So these are called as what? Compound assignment operators. Okay. Now I want to show you remaining all other operators also same type of operations will be done. So if you want to see, I will take a small example for shifting operations. X equal to 10, for example, I have taken. Next, what I am taking? X equal to 2. What is the meaning of this one? X has to be shifted right with 2 bits. So answer is what? As we have seen earlier, answer will be 2. Okay, which is nothing but X equal to X. This is the answer. Okay, so here also we are going to get what? 2 only. Sorry, already X is shifted here. Sorry, X value becomes 2, so that we got 0 here. Don't worry. Here again I will take X value as 10 and I will show you. X equal to 10. What I am going to do? X right shift with 2 bits. So answer will be what? 2 only. That means what? This statement and this statement, these statements are same. That means what? This statement and this statement is same. Okay, this is about compound assignment operators. Now I will show you to assign multiple values at the same time. So till now what we have seen, if I want to assign two different values, A equal to 10, B equal to 20, in this way I have assigned. If I want to assign multiple values at the same time, what I have to do? A comma B comma C comma D, for example, I have taken 4 values. So assign the 4 values for it. So here 30 comma 40. Now what happened? If I print A, what is the value? First value is assigned to, see here, what is the first value here? We are having 10. So it is going to assign to first variable. Next second value is what? B. Sorry, second value is 20. It is assigned to B variable. What is the third value? 30. It is assigned to C variable. 40. It is assigned to D variable. If I see all the values, you can observe clearly, right? In this way also, we can assign the values to your variables. So if you try to, let us consider if you are taking here 3 values, but I have taken only 2. Then what happens? It is try. There I have declared 3 variables, A comma B comma C, but I have given only 2 values. Is it correct? No. It is telling clearly what? Not enough values to unpack. That means what? These values has to be inserted into each and every one. Packing. So unpacking has to be done here. So we will discuss what is meant by unpacking later. So for here I have given 3 variable names, but here I have given only 2 values. It is not correct. Compulsory here, if you are giving 3 variables, here we have to give what? 3 values. So some people may get doubt that, sir, if I take 10 comma 20 comma 30, now let us think once whether it will give error or not. So many people will think that we will get an error, but here we will not get any error. So I will show what is the reason here. So already we have discussed the concept of tuple. There I have told one point that there parenthesis is not going to indicate, it is not going to tell it as a tuple. Commas is going to make it as a tuple. I have discussed. So let us see a value. So it is going to print what? 10, 20, 30. So I want to show you type of a. It is going to, it is nothing but what? Tuple. Okay. So these are the different type of assignments we can perform by using a assignment operator. So here just I want to discuss about some operator like increment and decrement in your C, C++ and Java language. So listen carefully. For example, I am going to consider x equal to 10. There, if I perform x plus plus, listen carefully. There, if I perform x plus plus and if I print x value, then I am going to get what? 11 value. That means what? One value will be incremented. X value will be incremented by 1. But here the case is different. There is no concept of increment or decrement operators in Python. See here. It is going to tell me what? Invalid syntax. So, but I want to discuss one more point regarding to this. That is what in your C, C++ and Java, if you are going to take increment and decrement operators, there are two types. One is post increment, another one is pre-increment. In the same way, here also we are having what? Pre-increment and pre-decrement and post-decrement. What is meant by post-increment? X plus plus. What is meant by pre-increment? Plus plus x. In the same way here, what? Pre means what? Minus minus x, x minus minus. So what I have shown you now, this case I have shown you. So I will show you remaining case also. Now next I will show you this case. Right. So again I am going to try to what? X minus minus. What happens? Here also I got what? Invalid syntax. But now these two cases I will show. Here in these two cases I will not get any error. These two are correct in Python, but these two are invalid in Python. Okay, but one point I have to discuss is these are not called as increment operator and decrement operator in Python. Okay, just what is going to happen I will show you here. So see, plus plus x, is there any error? No, we are getting 10 only. Again, minus minus x, we are going to get what? 10 only. So I will tell you the reason what happens here. So here what I told, these two are valid. How it is valid means what I have taken x value as 10, plus plus x is nothing but plus of plus x. It is going to consider in this way in Python. So minus minus 6 is nothing but what? Minus of minus x. So we got this type of result. Okay, this is the reason how it is going to be performed. Okay, right. That means what? Plus plus x, increment and decrement operators are not there in our Python. This point you have to remember. But some people may think that these are acting as increment and pre-increment and pre-decrement, but these are not correct. These are not the concept of pre-increment and pre-decrement. Okay, just it is going to act as plus of plus x, minus of minus x. Right. This is about your assignment operators. Now I want to discuss about one more operator which is very important. Okay, that is an operator called as ternary operator. Very important operator. Ternary operator. Ternary. Okay. 1 minute. Ternary operator. Okay. So what is meant by ternary operator? Okay. Let us see ter. What is meant by ter? 3. Okay. So I want to discuss first about what is meant by ternary operator. So here what happens means I will write one condition. Okay, if it is true, for example, here it is going to execute statement 1, else it is going to execute statement 2. Okay, that means what? Here how many statements are there? 1, 2, 3. So ternary, 3 different things has to be there. So if it is true, it will be executed. If it is false, it will be executed. Okay, that means what? If condition is true, it is going to execute statement 1. Otherwise, it is going to execute statement 2. For example, I'm going to take A equal to 10, B equal to 20, for example. And the condition is if A greater than 10, question mark, for example, print A. Otherwise, print, for example, B, I told. Now what happens here? Sorry, A greater than B, for example. So A greater than B or not? No. If A greater than B, is the condition is true? No, it is false. So if it is false, which statement has to be executed? Which value has to be printed? 20 has to be printed. Okay, that means this statement will be executed. Okay, if this is true, this statement has to be executed. So the syntax is same in your C, C++ and Java, but not in Python. Okay, compulsory I have to differentiate these things, because if any of you know C, C++ or Java, it may lead to confusion. So first I have to explain this one. Later I will go to Python concept. So in all these three languages, this is the syntax of ternary operator. Now, how the condition is there in our Python? How the operator is present in our ternary in our Python? Let us see here. That is, here I am going to consider first value. Okay, first value, and next, or we can consider it as any statement. Here I have to write if, and here I have to write some condition, and later what happens? Else, second value. Just very easy. Okay, it may lead to some confusion, don't worry, I will explain clearly. In before case, what happened? First I have taken condition. Okay, then here some first value, otherwise second value. I go to second value. Okay, that means what? If it is true, I will come to here. If it is false, I will come to second statement. Now see, first what happens means I am going to check one condition here. If the condition is satisfied, it will come to here. That means what? If condition is true, it will come to first value. Otherwise, it will print what? If condition is false, it will print what? Else. It will go to else case. So I will take 2 or 3 examples for this one to make you to understand. So first you have to understand this one. Syntax, you have to remember what happens if some condition, that means if this condition is true, it will go to here. Otherwise, it will go to else case. If true, first value. If false, then it will go to second value. Okay. So this is the syntax of our ternary operator, or we can also call this one as a conditional operator. Okay. Ternary operator is also called as what? Conditional operator. So I'll take a small example which makes you to understand easily. Now see, here I am going to consider, just I will take one value. Just this is for storing purpose only. It is not the part of our ternary operator. I will write here ternary operator. So let us consider 30. I have to write what? If condition. If when 30 is going to be stored, 10 less than, for example, 20, else for example. Otherwise I will tell you clearly. Just I will write here second value. Okay, second, and here I will write first. Here I will write what? First. Now see here, very compulsory how to understand this one. Now see, don't bother about this x equal to. Now check here. If 10 less than 20, is 10 less than 20 or not? Yes. So if it is true, then it has to go to take what? First value, so that it will go to this first. If it is false, it will go to here. Now is this condition is true or false? It is true. So what is the value that is going to be selected here? First. So that is going to be stored in x. Okay, now let us see whether it is the correct case or not. So x is what? First. The same condition I am going to take once again, and I am making this condition as false. That means what? I will take here 30. So is 30 is less than 20? No. Is 30 is less than 20? No. That means what? Here this condition is false. So if it is false, it will print what? Else case. It will go to else case. If it is true, it will print this value. If it is false, it is going to execute this value. Now let us execute this one. Now let us see what is the x value that is present here. Okay, that is nothing but second. So don't worry, I will write a small program, okay, to find the minimum value of two numbers by using this ternary operator. Right. So see here, just I will take I don't want to use any input now. After completing these all operators, I am going to show you input and output operators in Python. So now I'm going to take An example, A direct values I am going to take here. Okay, A equal to B, for example, B equal to 20 I am going to take. Now I want to find which one is smallest, minimum number. So how I have to tell me? So what is the condition of our minimum? That is, I want to find a minimum of these two numbers. If condition is going to be written here, if A is less than B, for example, then which value has to be stored here? If A is smaller than B, A is less than B, then automatically we can say what? A is smaller. So just write down here A, if true. Otherwise, if A is not smaller, then what has to be printed? Sorry, what has to be stored? B. Once again repeating, A less than B. That means what? If this condition is true, if A is smaller, then A will be stored in min. If A is not smaller, then automatically what? B is smaller. If this condition is going to be failed. Now else B. Now I want to print that one. Just I am going to print, that is what? Minimum or min value. Directly I will take min value is, just I will take what? Min. I don't know what is present in min. Okay. Now I'll save this program. Just I will execute. 1 minute. Okay. Right. Once again, I'm going to do this. So here, let us see what will be the output. Oh. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. So I will execute directly from this one. Right. So we are having the program in desktop. So I have to execute a Python program by using a command called as Python. I have to go for first.py. So what is the output we got? Min value is 10. So just I will change the values here now. Just I will do what? This as a 40 now to make the condition different. Now what happens? What should be the output of these two numbers? It should be 20. So how this condition is going to be executed? Let us see. If A less than B, is A less than B? No, then it will not go to this one. Okay, it will go to where? Else case. So else case means what? B value is going to be printed. Sorry, B value is going to be stored in min. Okay, then I'm going to print that value. So I'm going to save this program and execute once again. Okay, the program is not saved. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Yes, some problem is there with this file. So that the same program I will save in some other file. Because I'm using the same file many times, some problem may be there. Anyway, I have done in second.py, some file name python space second.py. Now see what is the value we are going to get? Min value is 20. So then you have to understand clearly that we can use, I think you have understood about this ternary operator. Okay. Right. Now I will take one more example to make you clear by taking the nested ternary operator. That means what? In the same, that means what already we have seen from nested operators in before sessions. In the same way, I can nest this ternary operator also. That means what? In the same thing, I can run multiple conditions. So I'll take a small example for that one also. Just I am going to take three numbers here. I want to find the maximum number of those three numbers. Okay, let us take some 10, for example 20 and 33. Three I have taken. Just I want to change this condition as max. So first thing we have to understand clearly that how to find the maximum number we should know. So what are the conditions I have to check? First I will discuss what. First thing what has to be done? A has to be checked with B. Okay, just I will write a small condition for that. so that you can understand clearly. So first here 3 values are there, A, B, C. Okay. Okay. How many times we have to check? First I have to check whether A is greater than or B. If A is greater than B, then I have to check what B is greater than or C. Okay. Let us take this situation here. 10 is greater than 20 or not? No. Okay. Then I should not check out, no need of checking this one. Again check this one. That means 2 things I have to check. Sometimes I have to check these 2 conditions also. Okay, let us take one small example. I'll write that condition directly here so that you can understand. Okay, so now see, if A greater than B, first condition, if A greater than B and A should also be greater than what? C, then only I can say what? A. And so already I am using and symbol here, see, and operator here. So A greater than C, then what I can say? By this condition, this is one condition. Now tell me, if A greater than B and A greater than C, so which one is greater? A is maximum. Okay. Next, if it is not the case, then where I have to go? I have to go to some other condition. So what I have to take? Else. Else, I have to check one more condition. That condition is what? I will write else here. That condition is what? If B greater than C. If B greater than C, then I have to take what? If A greater than P, for example, if it is not the case, then I will go to where compulsory I have to go to check only B greater than C or not. Then the answer will be what here? B. Okay. Else what? C. Don't worry, I will explain once again this statement, this condition. Right. Now else C. So listen carefully. First, I will check the same thing I will explain for you. Here, condition is going to be. Now see here, I will explain. Okay. Now let us see this condition, how it is going to be worked. Right. Now see, I am taking 3 values. So condition we have to observe here, A greater than B. In this case, I will tell you, is A greater than B or not? No. That means what? This condition is going to be failed. 1 minute. Okay. This condition is going to be failed. If at least one condition is false in AND case, that means what? This entire thing is false. We are already discussed this concept. So now what happens? This is false. Then automatically I will go to where? Else case. Else case, what happened? Again, we have to check this condition now. It will not take this value. Again, here some condition is there. So if B greater than C, is it the case? Is B greater than C? No. That means what? Again, it will not select this B. So again, it will print what finally? C. Okay. So answer will be what in this case? C. Okay. Now, 1 minute. Okay. Now, one more example I am going to consider here. Now, I am going to take A value as 20, B value as 10, C value as 30, for example. Okay, otherwise, here I will make it as a 30, here I will make it as a 20, for example. Now see, A greater than B or not? Yes, this condition is true. Okay. Now, next one is what? A greater than C. A greater than C or not? Yes, true. That means what? Here itself, true and true is what? We got true. So directly I can go to A. No need of checking other conditions. I will not go to else cases here. Reason is what? I got true finally. So I will go to what? A. Then output is what? 30 here. Okay. Next case. I am going to consider what? Next case. Right. Now, here I have taken C value greater and A value greater. Now I will take B value as greater. I will take this 20, B value as 30, C value as 10, for example. Okay. So first see, A greater than B. Is A greater than B? No. So automatically what happens? If one condition is going to be false, entire condition is going to be failed. Then automatically we have to go to what? Else case. Else case means not only B, entire condition is going, this one will be checked. Now, if B greater than C, is B greater than C? Yes. That means what? This is true. If it is true, it has to go to where? B. Okay, this value. So answer is what? We got 30. So in this way, we are going to get the output. Same thing I am going to check here once again. So 10, 20, 30. What should be the answer? The answer should be 30. Okay. So answer should be what? 1 minute. Maximum value is, here I have written some min. So what is the thing I have to write? Max. Okay, right. What is the answer? 30. I will change the values here now. What I will make? I will make B value as maximum. and I will check, and here 20 and here 10 for example. Then what happened? It is going to give me 30. Okay, right. Again, I will make this one as a 30 and this one as 10. Okay, and save. 1 minute. Okay, I got what? Max value is 30. Right. This is the case how to use the concept of ternary operator in nested. That means what? Ternary operator can be nested. So you may think that, sir, if all values are equal, for example, I will take equal, what happens? Let us see. For example, 10, 10, 10. Is there any condition we have written here? No. For that, I have not written any condition. So what is going to give a max value is 10 only, because it is going to take what? So first it is going to consider, I have not written any condition for that. So what it is going to do? Right, now see. What is the value I am going to take? A equal to 10, B equal to 10, C equal to 10. Okay. Now, is A greater than B? No. Is A greater than B? No. Then this is false. Enter statement will be false. Then it will go to where? This case. Is B greater than C? No. It is false. So it will print what? C. So it should not be done. So we can modify our condition. Okay. Right. So in the same way, we can also find what? Minimum of 3 numbers by using the same thing. Just we have to modify what? The logic. Just if you want to print the minimum, just change the logic here. Right. Now, in another way also, we can do, 1 minute. Someone has unmuted the mic. Excuse me. Okay. Right. Now, I'm going to do the same operation in single line. Okay. Directly I can print this one. Just I will show you a small example. No need of taking all these statements. Just I will take A equal to 10 for example, and B equal to 20 here. Just I am going to find the two numbers here. Just the condition also will be written inside this print statement only. Then what I have to write here? Just I want to find the condition. So see here, observe carefully. If A equal to B, what should be the answer? If A equal to B, what it has to be printed? Just I have to tell that both numbers are equal. Both numbers are equal. Okay, this is if condition. If this is true, this has to be printed. Okay, if it is false, I have to go to which cases? Two other cases. Okay, that is, first I will go to that case. If A, I want to find a greater number here. Okay, greatest number, A less than B. Now tell me, if this is failed, if this is failed, I have to go to this condition. If this is true, then what happens? Automatically I will print this one. It will not go to other condition, else case. Now, if A less than B, then what has to be done? Okay. Here, if it is going to be failed, then I have to go to where? Else case. Else, what has to be done here? So if this is A less than B, if A less than B, what I have to do? What I have to tell? It is true means, then I have to print first number is less than second number. First number is less than second number. This should be printed, for example. Okay, right. Now, when it has to be printed, if this condition is true, if it is false, again I have to go to where? Else case once again. Again here what I have to print? First number is greater than. First number is greater than second number. Second number, yes. Now I will listen carefully. A small example. It is a small example. Right. Now see here, I have taken these two numbers. Now the same program I will explain clearly. Okay. See here, I'm going to have this program here. Okay, see here. Now I have taken two values here. One is A value. 1 minute. Okay, I have taken two values. One is A value and another one is B value. So my concept is what? I have to tell which one is greater among those. So that I have taken some condition here. So I will explain that condition now. So if A equal to B, what should be printed? If it is true, it will be printed. We know that if it is true. If it is false, we have to check two conditions. Okay, so that again one if I have taken here. That is what? Let us consider this condition is false. So we have to go to where? It is else case. Okay, so it is true, we will come here. If it is false, I will go to here. Now as this is false, I will come to this condition. Now check here. If A less than B, yes, A less than B. If this condition is true, then I will come to here. Okay, if this condition is false, I will print this one. Okay, now I will show you three cases, then you can understand clearly. So first case, what I have to show, if this is true, I will show you. Then it has to print what? Both numbers are equal. So first case, I will take what? Both numbers as same numbers. So now both are same. So it has to print, if it is true, it has to print this one. Now see. So it has to print what? Both numbers are equal. It is correct. Now let us take this. I am not going to consider this one as A equal to B. I am taking two different values. Then automatically it will not come to this one. It will go to this condition. Okay. So that I am taking 110 and 120. A value is smaller. That is second condition I want to show you. That means what? This condition, if A less than B, I want to satisfy this one. If this is true, which one will be printed? First number is less than, second number has to be printed. So same thing I have taken here. So I want to show you which one is going to be output. Sorry, I have not saved this one. Right. Now see here. What is the output I am going to get? First number is less than second number. As you observed here, first number is less than second number. Now when it is true, I want to make this one as a false. If I want to make this one as a false, I have to do what? I have to make A as greater. Then it will go to this one. Okay. Right. Now I want to make this one as a greater value. Here I will take 20. Here I will take 10, for example. Now what happens? See here. You can observe clearly. What happens? If A less than B, is A less than B? No. Then what happens? Automatically, this is not true. Then it will go to this else case. So answer will be printed as what? First number is greater than second number. Okay. So answer is what? First number is greater than second number. That means what? This can be, finally, by seeing these examples, you can understand what? Our conditional operator or ternary operator can be nested. Not only for one condition, we can write multiple conditions in that one. Okay. I don't want to make the thing complex, so that I have taken only one more if case in this one. If you want to take two more also, we can take, but I don't want to make this complex. Just you have to understand about only ternary operator. That's it. Yes. So this is about a ternary operator, or we can call it as a what? Conditional operator. Now I want to discuss about some other special operators are there in our Python. So these are very easy operators. It is easy to understand, right? Some special operators I want to discuss. Special operators. Okay, those are already we have seen. You may observe these things. So first one is identity operators. Among these two are there. First one is what? Identity operators, and second one is membership operators. So these are the two special operators we are having in our Python. Two types of special operators. Again, in identity operators, we are having two operators, is and is not. Okay, already we have seen about is in some sessions. So is and is not. Next one, membership operators, in and not in. So first I will explain about these cases. Later I will show you the examples. Right. Now in this you can observe what? Is not. Where we have applied this? To check the addresses of a variable. That means, for example, A equal to 10, B equal to 10. Already we have seen some examples for this one. What happens now? A for object we are going to have 10, and B also will be pointed to this one. We have observed these cases. Okay. Now what? Address will be same. For example, address is 2348926. For example. Now, is A is B? That means what I am checking here is the identity of A. Identity of A is nothing but this address. If identity of A is B or not? Yes, identity of A is 2348926. Identity of B is 2348926. That means what? Both are same. I am asking A is B or not? Yes, A is B. So it is true. Okay. Already you know when this reusability concept is used, only up to 0 to 256. Okay, I will show you all the examples now. Now, is not. Now I'm taking the same example here. A is not B. Is not B? No, it is. So A is B here, but I am asking what? A is not B. So answer is false here. Okay. So that means what? It is going to check the identity. That means what? Address of both the variables are same or not. Okay. Right. Now I want to show you about membership operators. Membership means what? For example, I'm regularly going to a library. For example, I have taken some membership here. Okay. Membership, for example. So am I into this library or not? Yes, I am in. I am in this library. Okay, because I am member of that library. Okay. Not in means whether you are in or not in. Okay. A small example I will take. A equal to, I will take one small list here, 10, 20, 30. Okay. Now I want to check whether 10 is, whether 10 in A. That means what? Is 10 is present in A or not? Yes. That means what? Answer is true. Whether it is present or not, that's it. Again, next I am going to take 40. Not in A. Yes or no? Is 40 is present in A? No. So I am telling it as a correct statement. So it is true. For example, 10 not in A. Is 10 not in A? Yes, 10 is there. So the statement is false. Okay. So these are the different type of special operators we are going to have. The same thing will be explained by showing you the examples. Okay. Right. Now see, just I will take a values A equal to 10 and B equal to 20. Now already we know that A is different, B is different. So I will check identities. A is B or not? No, for both the, so to check that one, I will show you the IDs also. That is identity also. ID of A is some value. ID of B is some other value. Is these two are same or not? Is these two identities are same? No. Let us check. A is B. Is these two are true or false? False. Because two are different. Now I am asking what A is not. A is not B. Yes, correct only. Whatever you are giving, the statement is correct. So answer is what? True. Okay. Now I will take A equal to 10, B equal to 10. You have to observe this case, because here what happens? Identity of A and identity of B is same, because reusability concept is there up to 0 to 256 values in integers. Just I want, without seeing this ID of A and ID of B, just if I use A is B or not, it will tell me both are same. A is not B. A is not B. No, A is B. So the result is what? False. Okay. Yes, I want to show you for strings also. If we are going to consider same type of strings, what happens? It will be having only one object. It will not create two objects. So I will show you the difference also. I will take three objects here. For example, capital S. So if you observe these three, which string is different? Third string is different, because here we are having what? Capital S. So how many objects are going to be created here? Two objects. One is Shiva object, another one is capital Shiva object. That is what we can observe here clearly, because already this concept was completed when I am discussing about strings. So here what is going to be happen? One is Shiva object is going to be created, which is pointing by A and B, and one more object is going to be created with capital S, and this is pointing by C. Now the address of A and B will be same, the identity of A and B will be same, then the identity of C is different. Okay. Right. Now see, I want to check A is B or not. A is B or not. You can check here. Yes, A and B are same. So answer is true. Now A is, for example, A is C or not. A is C. Both are same or not? No. That means what? What we are going to get? We are going to get false. Now once again, I want to check B and C also. B is C or not? Is B is C? A, B are same. We can consider both are having same identity, but C is having some other different identity. Okay. So B, C is also false. Now see, B is not C. Yes, B is not C. Correct. Whatever you are saying is what? Correct. So we are getting what? True. A is not B. A is not B. No, A and B are same. So A is B. But you are asking what? A is not B. Whatever you are telling is wrong. So we are going to get what? False. So in this way, we are going to use the identity operators in Python. Okay. So not only for these strings and all these strings and integers it will work for all other different data types also. That is, for example, I'm going to take lists 20, 30. This one you have to observe clearly. Okay, 30, 40 I'm going to take, and list 2 I am going to consider as very important. Here you have to understand this concept. So whenever I have not explained the concept of lists, whether it can be reusable or not. That means what? It cannot be reusable. Okay. Now so you can observe both are same. You will think what? List 1 and list 2 is pointing to same memory location, but it is wrong. I will not say it is wrong. Let us see. And then you can observe clearly. Automatically it is wrong. But I want to show you after seeing this one only, we can get to clarity. So answer is what? False. That means what? Reusability concept is not applicable for our lists. So let us see IDs. ID of list 1. List 1 is what? Some 50532392. And I want to check for ID of some other list 2 also I want to check. So now see, is those two IDs are same? That means what? Addresses are same here? No. So automatically if I check list 1 is list 2, it is going to give you false. So when it will give you true, is list is not list 2? Is list 1 is not list 2? Yes, it is not list 2. Both are different. So we are getting true. Okay. Next, I want to show you one small thing. That is what? Listen carefully. This one. List 1 of 1 is list 2 of 1. Listen carefully. Very important point. Answer is what? True. So I don't want to make you confused. Once again, I am repeating. Here what I have checked, list 1 and list 2 I am talking. For lists we are not having the reusability concept. That means what happens when it is going to create means list 1 will be created like this one, 20, 30 and 40. Now list 2 will be created separately in this way, 20, 30 and 40. So these two are not same. Some address, different address, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, this one is 48293. Some different address will be created. Now I am talking about individual objects. What is the individual object that is here? 20. That means what happens here? 20 will be created in this way, which will be pointed by what is the address location here? List of 0, 1, 2. It is what? 0, 1, 2. Individual object is what? 20. So generally, if I am having already 20, will another location will be created here? No. What happens here? This is pointing by list of 0 and also list of 1. You have to observe this one clear. Sorry, list of 0. List of 1 and list 2 of 0. Now again 30 value will be created in this way, and list 1 and list 2. What is the 30 value? 1. Okay, list 2 of 1 and list 1 of 1 will be pointed to the same thing. Now here what happens? 40, this is pointing by whom? List 1 of 2, list 2 of 2. That means what? How many objects finally created? I have shown you in representation this way, but internally what happens? In this way it is going to be stored. Okay, whenever I call, listen carefully, whenever I used list 2 of 1, what happens? It is pointed toward 30, so it is resulting 30. Whenever I call list 1 of 1, it is going to call what? Same object. Internally In this way, the values are going to be stored. But up to which values it is going to reuse, as these are integers, up to what? Only if the values are 0 to 256, it will be happen. For example, here I am going to take 258. Listen carefully. 250. Here, for example, 258 I have taken. Now what happens? Here, the list 1 of 3 is 258. Next, what happens? Separately, 258 will be created here. List, already we know this concept, 3. If I compare list 1 of 3 and list 2 of 3, identities are different. So I will show you this one. Okay, just I will append those values first. List 1 dot append of, what is the value I want to append? 258. Okay, list 1 appended. So if you want to see list 1, let us see list 1. Okay, next list 2 dot append of same value I'm going to append 258. So what happens? So we are having what? In both the lists we are having same values. But if I check up to 20, 30, 40, no problem. It will show same. That is what? List 1 of 0 is same as list 2 of 0. Yes. List 2 of 0. No, answer will be what? True. No problem. Again, list 1 of 1. Okay. Right. Here also same, because the values are below 256 only. Answer is 2. Next, here I want to take what? Sorry, list 2 of 2. Here also it will give you true only. Okay, now it will give you false now, because the value is what? 258. The reusability concept is used only up to 0 to 256 only. What is the value I am going to compare here? List 1 of 3 is list 2 of 3. I am going to compare 258. So 258 is greater than 256, and for this value reusability concept is not applicable. Okay, so this is about membership operators, sorry, identity operators in our Python. In next session we will see about remaining membership operators. Thank you.